A Mother's Love, Ryan Tate.
A mother's love. She carried you for 9 months. She loves you at first sight. She nurtures you and watches you grow from a little baby to a grown man. My story was a little different. My mother left Jamaica when I was 2 years old to come to Canada in search of a better life for me and my brothers. I didn't see her again until I was 10 years old. Throughout this time, I never spoke to her, never got a letter from her. I don't even remember my grandparents talking about her. But I do remember times seeing my friends, playing with their moms, and enjoying life. All I knew is that my mom was gone to make a better life for me and my brothers, whatever that meant. There were times I wondered if I was ever going to see her again, or if she was ever coming back. But as time went by, I just forgot about her. One day, it was a Saturday morning, my grandmother left the house, and she said she'd be back later. But I didn't ask her any questions like, where are you going? When are you coming back? Because I knew better not to question my elders. During the afternoon, I don't know where my brothers were, but I was at the neighbor's house, and I was playing with their daughter. And I saw my grandmother, she was walking back towards the house, and she walking with this lady. And the lady had a little baby in her hand, and they didn't say anything to me, so I just kind of followed them home. Lo and behold, that lady was my mother. She stayed there for about a week, and I can't remember much during that week. All I knew is that she was gone again, leaving my brothers and I to wonder, like, what's going on here? Another year goes by, and my brothers and myself was in the yard playing, and a family friend came in, and she said, you guys are going to Canada to reunite with your mother. When we got here, my mom already had a family. She had my little brother and his dad. And he was put in a situation where he had to help raise 3 boys that weren't his. And he couldn't handle it because within a year or so, he was gone, leaving my mom to raise 4 boys on her own. Going through grade school, I can remember my mother always working. But she would call the house in the morning to make sure we got up. And I got my little brother ready so he didn't miss the school bus. And when she got home, she would try to get us to do schoolwork. Looking back, it was hard for her because she was raising boys. And we all know boys don't listen. My mother, she never owned a car or had a driver's license. So we had to walk back and forth to the grocery store. And I was kind of angry at her because I asked her, like, why don't you get a car? Why don't you get your license? But I didn't know the reasons why she didn't do those things. It's not that she didn't want them, but she just couldn't afford them. I think I was in the 7th or 8th grade. I really can't remember, but one day I came home from school, and my aunt was at her house, and, she said, your mom's in the hospital. I said, why? She had a nervous breakdown. A nervous breakdown is trying to raise 4 boys on your own with no father around, when you're barely making ends meet for yourself. As hard as she tried to keep everything together, I think the stress of struggling just got the best of her. Throughout this time, though, I was still angry at my mother for leaving us, and I was mad at her because she tried to discipline me, and I felt like, who are you to discipline me when you're missing out on my life for all this time? The more she disciplined me, I resented her more. When I got to high school, the situation just got worse because as I was growing, she still tried to discipline me, and not as go to your room, you're grounded, but with force. And I felt like enough is enough. I'm a man. You ain't hitting me no more. I was wasn't a good idea. She didn't like that, man. Things just got ugly. Like, I literally didn't speak to my mom my last few years of high school. I had to communicate with her through a third party. I never thought we'd speak again because I was young and I was hurt, and I just angry at her. All my frustration was built up towards her for leaving us. You know, it took me a while to slowly start to understand. And even when I moved out and I had my daughter, I'm still angry at my mom. I didn't want to talk to her. But somehow, like, I can't pinpoint the reason, but we gradually started speaking again. I think it's because I'm a father now. And just looking back at what she went through, man, I think it's amazing. Because when you come from an underdeveloped country with nothing, and you're raising boys, you know, that's hard. So, you know, I want to thank her for, like, all the things she's done for me. When the last time I saw her, when I just wondered how did she manage to do all these things? You know? And now I look at her and I say, now that I'm in a situation where I'm trying to better my life and accomplish more, I look at my mom and I think, you have 4 boys. One of us have to be able to take care of you. And this is why I'm here. You know, I finally understand what my mother went through. And even though we had our bad times, I realized she only did what she knew. You know, it's not that she hated us or she didn't want us. She just thought leaving us was the best thing for her to do. And I sincerely forgive her for that now. What drives me right now is saying to myself, I'm going to buy my mother a house, paid for, no mortgage. I want my mom to be in a situation where she could say she only works now because she wants to, and not because she has to. And these are my goals and dreams, and I'm not going to fail. My why is so big that I will not allow myself to fail. You know, we all have to have a why we get up in the morning, why we do the things we do. And that's what drives us to be the person we want to be. My why is to give my mother a better life. Find out what your why is and take consistent steps towards it every day. And if your mother's still around, appreciate her. Because we only have them for so long, and when they're gone, we don't get a second chance for a do-over.